What's up, guys? I'm BTC. Welcome back to the Respawn, where I answer your questions. Today we're talking about Mei and Reaper making a comeback, changes to Moira's biotic orbs, and more. First question of the day has to do with the new role queue system, and is there going to be an SR decay? The answer is no. Under the current version of the competitive ladder, anyone with 3000 SR or above will slowly lose rank if they haven't played the game in several days. The original point of this was to prevent people from stacking multiple accounts into the top 500. They didn't want that. Later they changed it so you had to have the BattleNet connection with your phone and all that sort of deal. But the rank decay is going away entirely with the new 222 role queue system, so that will be completely gone. Alright, next question. When is your next hero concept? So I try to space them out a little bit. Usually there's a gap in between when Blizzard releases their new heroes, and that's when I try to put out my hero concepts. So because we just got Sigma, I'm trying to wait a little while, and then I'll release more hero concepts when we have some more downtime after Sigma's been in the game. Next up, speaking of Sigma, how would you change Sigma, if at all? I don't really know. I don't think I would change too much about him. I think the character seems to be working pretty good. He definitely has a very, very high skill requirement in order to use him effectively. I think he's going to be fairly popular in the upper bracket, and maybe not so much in the lower bracket. I think people are going to try to use him, but they're probably going to end up running into some issues with it. Now, whether or not he's going to be in the meta, I don't know. But the character seems to be pretty solid. I don't know if there's really anything right away that I would change. Next up, what happened to the Overwatch League picks? Why are Reaper and Mei suddenly starting to be used? It's mostly because the teams are just experimenting. They're trying to figure out what will work. I've seen Reaper get used in a couple of matches. I haven't watched all of them, but I did see a few, and Reaper just was a complete disaster in the matches that I saw. Didn't really do anything effective whatsoever. Mei did actually have some uses in some of them, and it was actually helping out. But the thing is, they're just experimenting, right? So this is a brand new thing. They've been locked into GOATS comp for so long that the Force 222 is a pretty dramatic change. And right now, these teams are just kind of throwing everything against the wall and seeing what sticks. That's pretty much what it is. I would imagine probably in the next couple weeks, you're going to start seeing everybody kind of focusing down to a more kind of stable meta. But again, you're going to have to realize that once these hero balance changes go through, like Brigitte is going to be a completely different character. So, you know, it's going to probably change again. But the thing is, what they're doing right now is they're just experimenting. They're trying to figure out what is going to work. Does freezing a barrier shield with Mei do anything, or is it purely a visual change? Well, you're going to see the little kind of freeze effects on the barrier regardless of who it is, but it doesn't actually slow down the character or have any effect like that. The only thing it does is damage the barrier as it would damage anything else. So it's just damage and that visual effect of the barrier appearing to freeze. That's it. Next up, speaking of freeze and slow, do you think slow or speeding effects on Moira's orbs would work? I don't really think this is a good idea because, and I've seen this suggested a whole bunch of times, the reason why I don't think this is a good idea is because the orbs bounce around a lot, and they're not going to be connected to any one player for any significant period of time. So what's going to end up happening is as it's bouncing around, you're suddenly going to have a quick little increase in speed, and then it's going to go away, and then it comes back again, and then it goes away, and then it comes back again, and it goes away. And of course, on the opposite side, you would suddenly slow down a little, and then go back to normal, and then slow down a little, and go back to normal. Basically, what would happen is like, there would be this constant kind of rubber banding, speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down, that sort of deal. And I don't think it would really be fun for anyone that, whether it's a friendly or an enemy, I just don't think that constant speed change is going to be very good to play with, and you're probably not going to want it. Now, they could do something where it's like a lingering effect, where you get hit by it, and it lingers for, let's say, 2 seconds or something. Like, yeah, they could do that, but honestly, I don't think applying any speed changes to Moira's biotic orbs is good. If anything, I would do what I suggested in a previous video, which is once you get affected by one of the biotic orbs, it will either increase or decrease your healing potential for the next 1 or 2 seconds or something, right? Kind of like what Ana's Bionade does, but for a shorter duration, that sort of thing. I think that would be better. Next up, why are the skins always default in the Hero Gauntlet? This has to do with how Blizzard loads in the skins at the beginning of a match. And for whatever reason, it just doesn't really work that well with the Hero Gauntlet. This is why you can only change your character skin at the very, very beginning of a match, and you can't change it during a match, because of how they load everything in. It also has to do with how they load the characters in. It just doesn't work. For whatever reason, that's why everything is always default in the Hero Gauntlet. Next up, can the damage from Sigma's ultimate be amplified by Mercy, Ana, or other damage boosts? So there's 2 parts of Sigma's ultimate. First, when you get lifted up, that part can be damage boosted. But when they get slammed back down, that part cannot be damage boosted. So the initial part, yes. The second part, no. If you're wondering how all of these other interactions with the kinetic grasp and all that sort of stuff, how they work with other characters, I made a myth-busting episode going through all of those different interactions. So if you want to learn all of that stuff, I'll put a link on top of the screen and down below so you can go and check it out. That's going to be all the questions for this week. Thank you to everyone who submitted one. Remember, I post the question card every Saturday on the community tab of my YouTube channel, and you can also see a full list of every single question that's ever been asked in the Respawn over on my Discord server. So you can find a link for that down below. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to see more, subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss anything. Also, come hang out in my Discord server and my Twitch live stream. Special thanks to my Patreon supporters. If you'd like to see what kind of cool VIP rewards you can get, check the links down below. And remember, always blame the controller, because it's never your fault.